This week reminded me alignment is greater than effort. When you're aligned, even chaos has purpose. Let's talk about being aligned in the process in this new season.
This is Mon, still showing up.
Hosted by Denise.
Good morning, Mon family. Happy first day of fall. Can we talk about how perfect God's timing is? September 22nd, the official start of fall, and it just happens to land on Monday over negativity. And I love that. And I love that for you because fall is all about letting go, leaves fall, seasons shift, things change, and yet here we are still showing up. So if life feels heavy and if it feels like things are falling apart, just remember, even the leaves have to fall to make room for something new. And hey, if you're washing those dishes, commuting, or hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes at work for peace, you made it. Welcome to Mon. Before I dive in today, I want to take a pause and acknowledge the world that we're living in right now because honestly, it's not okay. We're seeing hate, we're seeing profiling, violence, shootings, and it's heartbreaking. Now, listen, I know this podcast is Monday over negativity. This space is about showing up with love, humor, and light. But I can't sit here and pretend everything's okay when it's not, because Mon doesn't mean ignoring the pain. It means naming it, feeling it, and choosing to show up. So if you're listening right now and the world feels heavy too, I see you. You're not alone. This is where it's going to get wild. This weekend, I was with my family, the Empura, and every time they try to tag me on something, they're like, wait, where's Loli? Oh, your government name's Ivelis. And then it hit me. I really been Hannah Montana my whole life. In school, I was Ivelis. At home, I was Loli. And honestly, it started because when I was born, my brother couldn't even say my name. So he just called me Loli. And maybe he thought I looked like a lollipop. Who knows at this point?
First of all, you have three identities.
What?
You have Idelis, Loli, and Lola.
That's true. Armel calls me Lola. So Idelis, Loli, and Lola. Okay, I'll take it.
Adding names.
We're just adding names.
Another one.
Another one.
There you go.
So you might be saying, why is she telling us this just now? Loli is easier than Idelis to say at this point. Well, you guys are family. So if one day you want to call me Loli, one day you want to call me Idelis, whatever pleases you guys. And then of course, we're talking about nicknames, right? And this weekend, we meet my cousin's friend. And his government name is Tadeos. Like San Juan Tadeos.
What?
Tadeos. Stop. I'm not even joking. Okay. His name was Thaddeus, right? That's how you say it in English. Thaddeus. But nobody calls him that. Everybody calls him Negrito con Flow. Mercedes, shut the fuck up. Shut up. The streets voted, and that was it. Okay. And then when I realized, nicknames, right? It's not just a Dominican thing because he's Dominican, obviously. Negrito con Flow, that only Dominicans call themselves that. All cultures do this. Everybody has that one nickname that sticks forever. Like, I remember, oh my God, God forgive me. I remember I knew this guy who everybody called him Vico. But then when I'm young, I really didn't know. So everybody just called him Vico. But it was because he had one eye. And Vico literally means missing an eye in Spanish. That nickname had layers.
Y'all come straight to hell.
As we're talking about nicknames, I feel like they just follow us throughout our whole lives. Like, fast forward to college, nicknames aren't even enough anymore because people are using their Instagram handles. Like, I remember, I don't want to mention his name. I used to call this dude by his nickname, by his Instagram handle. And he would look at me like, that's not my name. But then, I mean, it just sticks with you. It's not just Jennifer, it's Jennifer with the good hair, right? And then it just made me think how often we accept the labels people throw at us. Like, your name could be Lil just because you're the smallest one in the room, or if your name is Stank because you forgot to wear deodorant in middle school, that name just stuck with you. That plays a role because you're not your labels, you're not your nicknames, and you're definitely not the boxes people try to put you in. Which brings me to what I really want to talk about today, which is alignment, grace, and who God says you are. But we'll dive in deeper a little bit later because, oh, I still showed up, and this might be the most chaotic one you guys heard. Y'all know I always start with how chaotic my week's been because listen, I'm far from perfect and life loves to test me. But I just want you guys to create this mental picture as I speak. I come back from vacation, open my laptop on Tuesday, and boom, 200 emails. 200 freaking emails. I sat there like, yup, maybe unemployment is not that bad. And then that same day, I have to take care of my nephew because my parents are living their best life on vacation. So here I am cooking, running a daycare, and my nephew hits me with, I don't want to grow up, pay bills, or have kids. Kids do what they want. I'm like, sir, thank you for dragging me in my own kitchen. You don't even listen.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Facts.
You don't listen.
Listen for sure.
No. So I'm like, what? Let that one slide. You know, you got to let these kids slide with these little slick comments they be throwing at us. And I'm like, let me at least get the groceries delivered to feel a little bit more productive. And Instacart shows up with cat food. Mind you, I don't own a cat. And the blueberries, they look like they were just jumped behind a bodega. I had to throw them all out. But I got my refund. And my nephew was like, why did you order cat food? Like, he's already testing my patience. Like, boy, stay out of my business. Because he's nosy, like his father. And then fast forward to Friday, my cousin's surprise birthday party that she didn't know about. I'm hyped. But I made the first mistake, which was wait until the day of to pump gas instead of the night before. And, you know, I go to pump gas and then the gas pump breaks on me.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it broke on me. You know, the little handle didn't handle, okay? I'm out here wrestling with it. Let's just say I was wrestling and I had to hold it the whole time because I broke the thing and it just went flying. I finally hit the road. And then, you know, when you hit every single red light, and it was just like specifically traffic control had a meeting, like delay her specifically. So that was strike two. But then at this point, I'm driving in complete silence. Sometimes, like, we just need silence in the car. No music, no podcast, just me and my thoughts having a boxing match. But then after a while, I turn on Wednesday because that's the vibe. Deadpan, no sparkle, just the family chaos is above me. And I finally made it to Philly. Woohoo! And then I forgot that I had to go pick up the cake. Cool. The GPS takes me straight through Kingston. And if you know Kingston, okay, it's like the Hunger Games. You have people running, bending over like they dropped a contact or a needle in a haystack, just bend over. God forgive me. Just fighting for their life, bruh.
I know you were scared.
I was scared. I was scared. Once that happened, I was looking in every single corner, gripping the wheel. And in my head, I'm like, yo, is Rena even worth it, bro? I said, is this even for real, bro? I was scared. I was like, we could just, you know, stick candles in a Trader Joe pie and call it a day. And I'm at a red light, and there's this other guy at the other red light, and it's Philly, people. Philly, Kingston. Just have that picture. He rolls down his window, bro. I kid you not. He rolled down his window, and he was going to break a neck trying to look in the car. And I left out a very important detail. And that was the car that I was in. My dad's car. AMG Mercedes.
Ghetto.
Shut up. And I'm surprised I didn't get jumped, okay? So just picture this. I'm still showing up, but the cake was worth it. And obviously, it was all worth it at the end. Dinner was beautiful. Food was good. Vibes were better. Because I finally meet Negrito con Flow, okay, as I mentioned earlier, but he was giving more Tyrese Gibson than anything else. And then we have my cousin's husband Harry over here is screaming sujeto. And no, but then we have Derixa, she's over here calling him teteo. A whole mess because his name's Thaddeus, okay? Government names matter. But he was great, enjoyed the time. And then we have my other cousin who Derixa, who's dangling from the ceiling, and she wasn't really dangling from the ceilings, but she was trying to take a picture of every single angle. Like she was the creative director of Vogue, a whole movie scene. At one point, I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, no more pictures, please. I'm gonna start charging. As I mentioned, the night, took a turn because my cousin Judy, from Jersey, total MILF, by the way. She was like, after the dinner, we're never together. Let's go to a bar. And of course, the rest of us like, fine, let's keep it going. So we ended up at Con Murphy's. And now listen, the whole time I was just thinking, it's literally up the street from my old apartment where Mr. Chillin' used to live. And the whole time I'm like, Lord, don't let me run into this man. The one who was just hanging out, lunging in his whitey tighties, chilling from episode 1. It was a full chaos, circle moment, but I didn't run into him. But that's when the chaos peaked because in Com Murphy's, we meet this guy named Andy. He was an investor, okay? Andy, okay, and it gets better. He's from the UK, okay? Andy from the UK. And he was basically saying, yeah, I have offices in Australia, the Taj Mahal, Dubai. This dude really had, because we looked at his tattoos and we're like, why you have like all this stuff and tatted on you of these buildings? He was like, yeah, because I got offices. I recently moved from the UK. And what didn't make sense is he was like, oh, and Allentown. So casually. I'm like, be serious. It wasn't adding up. And then meanwhile, you have Judy. He had his friend, right? His name was Dean. But we were confused because she thought his name was Denny because Andy was talking about a Danny. So the whole time Judy's like, Danny. And the guy's just looking back like, ma'am, it's Dean.
What is these accents you're doing?
I was trying to do that accent. He was like, it's Dean. And HR almost had to step in, but she works in HR. Judy!
Damn, everybody in the family in HR.
Everybody in HR. But you know what? At that point, it was like a whole week felt like a sitcom. Instacart cat food, blueberries got jump, Hunger Games, GPS, Tyrese Gibson, aka Negrito con Flow, and Mr. Chillin' lurking in memories. And Andy from Allentown, Judy traumatizing Dean. It was a mess. But it was also a reminder of what I said in my last episode to be present and to be in the moment. Because even when life is a circus, even when the cast don't make sense, you're still there and you're still showing up. So that's how I showed up. But this week we finally got 2 month stories, which you guys have to keep it up because if you guys want to be featured, you gotta maybe like Mercedes said, I'll do a Google sheet and y'all can submit it anonymously. How about that? But anyways, speaking of showing up, y'all send me your first month stories and I'm so excited to read these. Okay, so one of you said, I was so out of it Monday morning. I got on the wrong bus, didn't even notice until I saw Duncan I've never seen before. Had to Uber back to work so late, but at least I made it. At least you made it work, okay?
I would have went home.
Word. I wouldn't Uber back home. And then this one really had me crying because how didn't you just turn around? I want to hear more of this story, so follow up with me next week or just DM me. So I was running late, poured my coffee, grabbed my bag, and sprinted out the door. Got halfway down the street before I realized I didn't grab my travel mug. I grabbed a candle off my counter. I was literally walking to work with a candle in my hand instead of my coffee.
Oh, you were deluded.
Now tell me, y'all, would you have kept walking with that candle like nothing happened or turned around? Because you know what I would have done? Okay. I would have lit it on my desk and called it aromatherapy.
Facts.
Aromatherapy Monday. I like these. You guys have to keep sending up your mom stories, chaotic, crazy, or even if you just had to run to the bathroom for 5 minutes, that's still showing up. That's mon, chaos, mistakes, laughter, but you still showed up. And that's a win. All that chaos. And it made me think. Isn't that what happens when you're out of alignment? Everything feels random, nothing flows. But the second we realign, even the chaos has purpose. Earlier this week, I'm always watching my mass, and I was watching it on Thursday. And the pastor mentioned that the earth is so perfectly balanced that even if it shifts a little bit closer to the sun, chicharrón, we burn. Okay. And a little bit further away, baby, we freeze. Ice cube. The balance isn't random. And think about it. It might sound weird right now, but I'm getting to it. And you know what it proves? The moon. The moon has no light of its own. It only shines when it's aligned with the sun. Alignment is everything. And just like the moon, we have phases too. When it's a new moon, it's dark, it's invisible. And that's mostly when we feel drained, unseen, nothing is working. But the truth is, the moon's still there. You're still there, still aligned, still waiting to shine. Now, when it's a quarter moon, you're half lit, you're half dark. That means when you're trying to hustle, striving, and doing everything you can, but the results don't match. Jesus reminds us, without me, you're nothing. It's not about doing more, it's about aligning. And then when it's the full moon, the glow. That's when alignment is complete. You don't have to fight to be seen. You don't have to force the light. You shine, naturally reflecting his glory. And that's when this verse reminded me that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Meaning, every phase you're in, even the dark ones, are still part of God's plans. And no darkness, no labels, no nicknames, no seasons can cancel what God has aligned. So this week, Mon family, give yourself the grace to find alignment. Like the moon, we all have phases. Some days you're glowing, some days you're halfway there, and some days you're in the dark. But every phase is a part of a process. So this self-love Monday challenge, Mon family, give yourself grace to find alignment. Like the moon, we all have phases. Some days you're glowing, some days you're halfway there, and some days you're in the dark. But every phase is still part of a process. Here's your challenge this week. Notice what phase you're in. Full, half hidden, without judgment. I'm probably halfway there right now, honestly. And write down, my glow doesn't come from perfection. My glow comes from alignment with God. Give yourself one act of grace this week, whether you're resting, praying, journaling, or simply saying no to something that breaks your peace. Because self-love isn't forcing yourself to shine. It's trusting that when you are in alignment with God, your glow always returns. Last week, I told you you are enough. This week, I want to remind you you are aligned even in the process. Some days you feel like a new moon, some days you feel halfway, but no matter where you're at, you're still showing up. And since it's the first day of fall, let this also be a reminder a new season is here. Just like the leaves, you are allowed to let things fall away to make room for what's next. Alignment means trusting the season that you're in. Before I go, y'all, I always want to show love to my family, okay? So if you're in PA and you need a home, reach out to Miriam, the realtor, best one in the Wilkes-Barre area or just all of Pennsylvania. And if you need furniture, check out my dad's furniture store that's been there for 30 years, D Furniture House. That's family, that's love, and that's still showing up too. I'll be linking them at the bottom, so make sure to click and follow. And if you need some furniture in a house, double whammy right there. Now grab your coffee and let's keep showing up together. Same time, same place. I'll see you next Monday. And don't forget the bloopers at the end of each episode on YouTube. Bye now. Oh, this is where it's going to get wild.
Oh God.
Make sure, okay, so people really like when you add your little commentaries, by the way.
Because I'm funny.
So you need to add some little stickies.
What? What?
Once in a while.
Some little what?
Some spikikis.
Okay.
Some spikikis.
Got it.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Damn it.
I heard your bones cracking. You need to stretch. Armel, keep it down. No, ahora la puerta no se cierra.
Close it.
I hope if he screams, we can hear him.
We'll hear him. And that all came.
Stop it. Get some help.
To make room for what's next. Damn, I'm not boring you yawning?
Doña, son las 8 de la noche. Upgrade.
Oh yeah, I upgraded. I want to add more stuff. Like this says, speak love, speak up, stand together. And I feel like this one you can't really see it. What if it all works out? What should I add? A naked picture?
Yeah. A boudoir.
A what?
A boudoir.
A bidet?
Not a toilet. It's those sexy pictures that girls take.
Ooh.
You see on TikTok when they're like, they give their boyfriend or something an album of pictures of them. Like,
Oh.
sexy poses and like, that's called a boudoir.
A bidet.
Boudoir? Boudoir? Some, I was.
Bougie somewhere.
Yeah.
Bye.